One way to check the health of an engine is to check for blowby. And that's simply where you remove the oil fill cap and see how much vapor is coming out of the top of the engine. In some vehicles like this Ford Explorer, it's very easy because you can take the cap off without making a mess, and you can put your hand over it and feel for vapors coming out. This engine is doing very well. There's very little, if any, vapors coming out the top of the engine. Even though the oil cap is easily accessible, when you remove it, there's actually quite a bit of oil and air that comes spraying out. You can't really put your hand on it and tell if there's vapor going in and out. It's just too violent of an area. But I've got a trick that I'm going to try. I'm going to need an aftermarket oil cap. It fits the engine perfectly, but I'm going to modify it. We're going to take our cap and drill a hole just off to one side. Make sure to get all of the shavings out. We're then going to thread in a pneumatic fitting, just like that. Now I've installed that aftermarket oil cap on top of the engine with its fitting, and I've added a piece of 1/4-inch water line to a pressure gauge. So this pressure gauge can measure both negative and positive pressure. And so let's see what the engine is experiencing. Look at that. Even though there is all that air movement that we saw earlier when we took the cap off, when we actually look at the gauge, it is almost perfectly at 0. That means that just because you see a bunch of air movement and splashing underneath your oil fill cap, it does not mean you have blowby.